Hi, I'm Bill Donohue, President of the Catholic League. Here's Mike McDonald, he's Director of Communications. Today we're going to talk about CAIR and Georgetown University. Now, for those people who are not sure what the acronym CAIR is, it's the Council on Islamic Relations, okay? The Council on American Islamic Relations. Now, CAIR is basically the analog of the ADL in the Jewish community, the Catholic League in the Catholic community, and NAACP with blacks. Every demographic group has a certain civil rights group which stands up for its people. To that extent, that's good because they're defending the rights of Muslims who've been unfairly treated. But there's a difference. Unlike the Catholic League, which has never been accused of being a terrorist organization, CAIR has. Is it true? Well, the State Department does not list it, to be fair, to CAIR as a member of any kind of a terrorist organization. It's been accused by prominent members of the Congress. Certainly, there's been unindicted co-conspirator, the FBI. We know one thing. CAIR does run in circles which are very suspect. You know, it used to be that with the communists, you would talk about fellow travelers. A fellow traveler was not a member of the Communist Party. He or she was a person who associated with and hung with them. You know, a little bit too close for comfort. Yeah, CAIR is not Hamas, but CAIR has ties, at least with the infrastructure initially. And we do know that the head of CAIR had something to say about what happened on October the 7th, 2023. He said he was very happy with what happened. Let me describe to you from one report, very quickly, what happened on October the 7th, 2023. We're talking about 1,200 innocent Jews. Here's exactly what happened. Female bodies were found naked or partially naked, in some cases with aluminum cans, grenades, nails, blunt objects, rods, household tubes, and spike-like instruments inserted into genitals and other parts of the body, as well as multiple gunshot wounds, cutting injuries, and targeted burning in genitals and breast or the face. So the head of CAIR said he was happy with the results. Well, that raises serious questions. What the hell is going on with this group? It's not just another Muslim civil rights group. And by the way, initially, when I took over in 1993, I joined with CAIR on some things. And they have done some good work here and there. But you shouldn't have these kinds of ties. But that's the problem with what they have. And what's even worse is that Georgetown, the great Jesuit institution, there's a nexus there. They're joined at the hip. I'll turn it over to Mike to talk about the Georgetown connection.
Yeah, Bill. CAIR is involved in some of these more spicy connections, as you said. But more troubling from a Catholic standpoint, especially for people looking at sending their children to or grandchildren to Georgetown. Georgetown is providing the intellectual cover for CAIR. They're out there providing the air support, backing up some of these more crazy, outlandish statements that they make. Particularly, one of the worst figures involved is John L. Esposito. He's in charge of the Bridge Institute at Georgetown, and this institution exists to fight Islamophobia. Okay, that's a noble goal, but if you look at what Esposito has said, that he kind of waters down jihad, the concept of that, and says, well, for it is different meaning. Some people it's just this very devout undertaking, but for other people it's waging war. Okay, well that's you're kind of equating two radically different things. Like there's a difference between being an altar boy.
We know what jihad means, and he knows what it means too.
There's a difference between being an altar boy, and there's a difference between being a terrorist.
Right.
But for him, he waters it down. Also, 9/11. He condemns 9/11, not for the reasons you would think, though. He condemns it because it led Americans to believe that Islam and Muslims were violent. Okay, well, we were attacked by Muslims on 9/11. They bombed, they attacked the Twin Towers, the Pentagon.
Where is the outrage? There's no intensity of outrage about what happened in terms of the bombing. There's more of a concern about stereotyping.
Right. Thousands of Americans died. People got stereotyped. That's the issue that he wants to focus on, and that's wrong. And okay, so maybe he's just a wacky professor, and CAIR can just sort of latch on to him as he's got some ideas.
It's the whole institution.
Yeah.
Georgetown has an initiative there, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Bridge initiative.
Bridge, and Esposito himself has spoken at CAIR events as a keynote speaker, and the institution of Georgetown itself is the second to receive funding just behind Cornell from Qatar and Saudi Arabia. So it is, you know, the activists need something to back up their mission, and so they turn to Georgetown. Georgetown gets the funding from the same people that CAIR is getting funding from. There is a nexus there, and they are, working together, pulling in the same direction anyway, to advance their notions.
And Georgetown says it believes in human rights. Yet they have a professor on their payroll, whom I've mentioned several times in the past, who thinks that you can justify slavery and even rape if it's done by Muslims. So we've called into question what the hell's going on at Georgetown for a long time, and this is just the latest chapter in it. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Bill.